You have a collect call from
Saladin the truth.
an inmate at California's corrections. To accept this call, press 5.
Saladin, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir.
Let's go, man. Let's get this boy. I'm pumped. Man, the people can't resist us, man. I'm telling you, the duo is too strong, man. In the world, I say it every time. I say it every time. I said it in part 1 and part 2. Once you get out, man, the world better be ready for you. I'm telling you. They better put the seatbelts on, bro.
Yes, sir.
But you guys already know a little bit about Saladin and what he's about and his morals and stuff, all that good stuff. But today, we're blessed to have him on. He's healthy, blessings in his way. He's staying positive. Everything's working out for him. And this topic's going to be when I met God, and it's deep. I'm not going to say anything. I'm like I told Saladin, you know, I sit back and I learn a lot from him. You know what I mean? Like he's like a professor, but 10 times better. You know what I mean? It makes you actually want to sit down and learn and take down notes, because prior to this, before I met Saladin, I wasn't really like, I didn't really think about anything about religion or anything like that. Especially like the angels, when you're talking about the angels, Saladin, about how like they're within ourselves and like they're within people. They're not really in the sky and stuff like that. It's what you see and what comes to light, and you bring the light. You bring that LED light, not just the light, the LED light
Yes, sir.
to the darkness. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a difference between light. You can get a dull light, you can get a dull light bulb, but you got the LED light, the high definition. Bring it to the darkness, and once you get out, man, the ball's in your hand, and we're good about to make change in yourself. We're about it, and you're gonna make change for yourself. You know what I mean, for the better. So I'm looking forward to that, man. But yeah, we're about to get into when I met God. Saladin's gonna give you guys the rundown, and you guys take out your notepads and pens and really tap in with this, and really kind of think thorough of what he's actually saying, because you just can't sit and listen. You know what I mean? You have to really understand what Saladin's saying, because I'm telling you, he's intelligent, and he's intelligent, like, smarter than 90% of the professors or master degree scholars and all that. So you guys got to really tap in with them, man. So yeah, let's get it. um whatever, however you want to start off with Saladin, it's a blessing to have you on here, brother. This is going to be the final one, by the way, the final interview. And then once Saladin gets out, we're going to have the privilege to possibly do a live interview, or however that may be. You guys will see his face and everything, because currently he is locked up. So we have to do it this way, which is fine. It don't matter. It don't stop the heat from coming. So, like I said, it's a blessing having you on, Saladin. When I met God,
Yes,
let's
sir.
get into it, brother.
Yes, sir, brother. As always, I tell you, brother, you're an angel of light. This is what I'm talking about with this description of angels. You know, it's based on what you do that determines whether you're a demon or you're an angel. So with the work you're doing, brother, you're an angel of light. And so as always, brother, I'm grateful. I appreciate you allowing me to utilize your form to bring some healing to this world. So we give praises to the Most High God, brother, that allows us to connect on this level. Um,
Appreciate you for that, brother, for real.
yes, sir. Brother. As I go into this, I'm going to kind of give a explanation of the whys of things, because, like I was sharing with you, brother, I met so many people along my path, and I didn't know, brother, until the end of it, that I was running into angels and demons, and I'm gonna point this out to you.
Right.
You know, I was out. It's been explained to me that all of humanity is on a spiritual journey to awaken from the deep sleep. which is the unawareness of who we are, brother.
Right.
And that's God in the flesh, brother. God and man is one. There's no separation in that. And I'm gonna prove that to you, as I share with this to you. Um, Before I can go into the setup, because anytime that, the most high God uh reveals something to you, it's a setup. And I'm gonna point that out to you. But before I get into the setup, brother, I want to kind of show you, you know, how I was led to that setup. So prior before October the 22nd of 2001, um, there was a lot of events going on, brother, in my life. You know, um, as I explained to you, I was a member of the A-Trade Gangster Crips, and at that particular time, we was in a full-scale war with the Rolling 60 Crips. So every day, there was conflict, there was battles, there was engagement. In addition to that, you know, um, there was other things going on in my life, you know, that I was trying to figure out. You know, One of the things that um, affected me was the loss of one of my best friends. His name was Mario Randall. We called him in the set. We called him Baby Ghost, and he was killed. It was alleged that he was supposed to have robbed, some type of bar or something like that, and ultimately he would end up being shot by the Inglewood Police Department, and his life was took from him.
Damn.
So from that happening, you know, because actually that took place, and then that same night, I was on 69th Street in Raymond, which is the territory of the A-Trade Gangsters, and I was with one of my older OGs, Monster Cody, and we had put up on 69th Street, and my homie Lil Ant Dog had told me that Baby Ghost got killed, so I thought he was playing. I was like, man, I just seen him, you know. So Baby Ghost used to play games like that. You talk about he's a ghost, and that was his thing. So when Lil Ant told me that, I thought he was playing or whatever like that, but he was serious. And I was like, wow. So, we went to go, visit his mom and so forth like that. And we started to take preparations to bury him, So one of the things that we did, um, we was doing a car wash, brother, to raise funds for the funeral arrangements.
Right, right.
And so, while I was at St. Andrews Park that day, we was all participating, what I'm saying, in the car wash. We also had a protest, on Manchester, bringing awareness to the death of Mario Randall and how he was killed by the Inglewood Police Department. Um, so while we up there doing that, I had decided to go get me something to eat. I had pulled up there with Monster Cody. Me and Monster Cody, we was driving up there and we was communicating, conversating in regards to what's going on and how these things is just unfortunate. So when we pulled up to the park, we got busy, playing our role and participating to help the family and so forth like that. So then I decided to go to Goldenberg Chicken, that was on Manchester and Western. As I was walking up there, I had took my little homie Mo Six and Tony T-Bone with me. So we had went up to Goldenberg, chicken. And as we walked inside, I'll never forget this. It was two females up in there. And then while we was up in there ordering or whatever, I just started seeing, you know, law enforcement pulling in the parking lot from everywhere. So I'm like, wow,
Damn.
like here we go. You know what I'm saying? So, I had the Thule on me. I had put the Thule down or whatever. Little homies was in there with me. I just told them like, stand aside. I'm gonna deal with this. So when they came up in there, they asked me for my ID or whatever. And And I wasn't doing no talking, brother. At that particular time, my mind was in darkness.
Right.
I was caught up in, a state of ignorance. So, I wasn't being civilized on no level. So when he asked me for my the ID, I was like, I ain't doing no talking. So, brother, I just busted out of there. You brother.
Hey, Saladin, they just can't pull up. They don't have the right to come up to you and just ask, oh, what's your ID?
Yeah, yes,
They
sir.
they
That's why,
can't they can't do that.
yeah, I was being real difficult. I was like, we ain't doing no talking. You know what I'm saying? So I busted out of there, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesse Owens, I hit the corner,
Right.
ran through the alley, ran back to the St. Andrews Park.
You didn't get your chicken, man.
Nah, brother. I left all that, brother. It was time to get on.
Right, right.
And I ran back to St. Andrews Park where ultimately a melee broke out, because I was end up struggling with like 6 or 5 officers. They was trying to apprehend me, but I wasn't going down without a fight. And I led to other scrimmages, with my homeboys or whatever like that. So ultimately, like about 5 of us, what I'm saying, was arrested that day. And so this happened on October 22nd of 2001. So this was the setup, though. See, I'm trying to point out to you the setup. You follow me,
Right,
brother?
right, right.
It's no different from Jonah in the Bible setup. You know, as Jonah, paid for his ticket to go into the city of Taurus because, like I was explaining to you, he was being disobedient to the Creator, so he didn't want to obey. So as on his trip, to get away from Nineveh, he was, confronted with a storm. So this was my storm right here, brother. I'm trying to show you the parallels and things in our life, because we all going to go through different things. You follow me?
Absolutely.
So this was the setup. I had to get arrested so the steps and the process can take place for me to come out this darkness. So on October the 22nd, brother, 2001, I was arrested and I was charged with robbery, carjacking, assault with a deadly weapon, and I had about 6 accounts of 69 PC, which was assault on a police officer. So I'm in Los Angeles County Jail. So I'm fighting my case. I fought my case from October the 22nd of 2001 until February the 5th of 2003. When I was transferred from the Los Angeles County Jail to the Lano State Reception Center. So at that time, I was sent to prison, CDCRC.
Right.
So during this time in the LA County Jail, though, um, it was a lot going on. As far as my homeboys, like as I was explaining to you, the A-Trade Gangster Crips, we were at odds, with other rival gangs and so forth like that. So, the way the county jail was set up, there was different modules for, different gangs and their allies and who they associate themselves with, you know. So, uh, predominantly in the LA County Jail, the neighborhood Crips, they was very numerous, very
Right.
numerous. So when it came to the A-Trade Gangsters, the Hoovers, and other gangs that were at odds with the neighborhood Crips, we were kind of outnumbered. So one of the things that I did while in the county jail, because I have family members, that's their bloods. My auntie, which is rest in peace, her daughter, you know, her last name is Evans. And so in Inglewood, you have a known family, they're called the Evans family, and they're out of Inglewood family. So these are my relatives. I got relatives also from V&G, you know, and that relation, you know, allowed me to propose an idea, to kind of deal with the situation of us being outnumbered, So while in the
Right.
LA County jail, I got my relatives and I'm like, look, man, we're not going to be, you know, uh, rolling it up. We're not going to be punking out from the situation. So, I mean, we're going to get straight to it. So I got my family members and it was some, individuals that I knew, from the West Side Hoover Street gang. And I explained to them like, man, we need to kind of break this situation up. So this is how the LA County Jail, the terminology of moving, grooving, and swooping came about.
Right.
You know, I established a unorthodox coalition. You know what I'm saying? To be able to, deal with the situation of us being outnumbered, and to be able to deal with our rivals accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So, from that, that spread it all throughout the county jail, ultimately to the streets, where you had alliance with Crips, Bloods, and the Hoover criminals. And that kind of gave us a foundation, what I'm saying, in the front, what I'm saying, to be able to deal with, what I'm saying, the opposition on that type of level. So all this was going on in the LA County Jail at this time. You know, I was dealing with full scale war.
Hey, Saladin, real quick, brother.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. Sorry to cut you. I don't mean to cut you off. I like listen. I just now if you didn't have any family members, that were part of the the Bloods, or if you didn't have any family members that were part of that, and being in that county jail, LA County is like a prison damn near, and it's bad. Like you got it all right. Like you got everyone that's up in there all mixed up and stuff. Do you
Yes.
think it would have went? You think it would have went south if you didn't have any family members associated with the Bloods?
Well, not at all, brother. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, uh, being a part, like I was explaining to you, from a gang, and we strong, brother. They trade gangster Crips is strong. So, I knew how to fight. You know what I'm saying? I was a very you know, forceful soldier.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? That dealt with situations, what I'm saying, as they came. I had squabble, I had heart. So regardless if, that setup wasn't there, I still would have figured out a way to survive. You follow me?
right.
Because that's just the way I was raised. Uh, so all that was going on in the LA County jail at that time. And so, as this full scale war going on, um, I was having strange encounters. This is what I was telling you about, divine encounters, right?
Right.
So, one day, you know, uh, there was an OG, from the Roller 60s. His name was Turtle. And and he came down to my cell. I was in Baker 13 on the 2600 floor. And he came down to my cell, and he was like, Timmy, let me holler at you, bro. I'm like, what's up with it? And he was like, you know, everything that's going on, man, uh, you should take a different look at it. So, I'm looking at this dude like, we enemies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, what are he talking about? You know? And then he was explaining to me, like, he was like, man, what you think it is, it's not like that, but and it was just strange because he said that to me, then he walked off. You know what I'm saying? So, in my mind, I'm like, well, what he on? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He was trying to lace up them shoes, huh? And get after it,
Yeah, most definitely. This
huh? Right.
this what I would tell you. These encounters be strange. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first encounter. Then the second encounter, I was coming back from an attorney visit, and I ran into him again. So I had two encounters with this brother. So the second one was in the laundry room. So I go up in there. Now he older, so he OG, right? So I wasn't really too aggressive. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to harm him or do something to him. So we're just more of like, what's happening, And I'm
Right.
in the laundry room with him or whatever, and he telling me like, um, he said at some point you're gonna see that those who you think your enemies ain't your enemies. And he said, keep
Facts.
your head up, and he went his way, what I'm saying, and I went my way. And and that threw me off.
Right.
Because his talk to me was never aggressive, it was never disrespectful. He just kept dropping jewels and then he was gone. You know. So I'm in this LA County jail. We like I said, we having conflict, with, our so-called rival enemies. We dealing with the LA County sheriffs and so forth like that. They busting us across the head and, treating us cruel and so forth. So we dealing with that too. So I stayed down there, dealing with the trial process. So ultimately I was end up sentenced to life in prison.
Damn.
So they charged me with, due to the carjackings, they can hit you with the 186 point B. So that can lead to, 5 years, 10 years, or ultimately life. So as I was going to trial, my lawyer never told me, what I'm saying, that I could have took a deal for 19 years without the L. He never told me that, right? So he kept that from me. So I end up going to trial, get found guilty. They give me life in prison. So, I get life. I got sentenced to life. So now at this point, you know, uh, my belief in God it was a wrap. So everything that I grew up in, I was taught everything that I knew. At that point I stopped believing. Because I felt like, okay, I did what I did, but however, like, I mean, where's the justice in me just being railroaded like that? Here it is. I had a lawyer, and he's supposed to, defend me,
Right. Your life
and
is
then
in
I'm
his
going through
hands.
this. Yes, sir. And I'm going through this process, and he not even telling me important things to help me properly defend myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got railroaded. That's what we say when we say you got railroaded. I got railroaded by, public defender. His name was Samuel Abraham. I never forget him. You know, and so I was sentenced to life. I was sent upstate. Um, yeah, nothing changed as far as with my mentality. I was still aggressive, still pushing, still representing. So at that point, I was just tripping. I wasn't trying to get along with nobody. I wasn't trying to see no understanding with nobody. You was my enemy. You can get that. This is what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when I hear reception center in Delano, uh, I was there and I had run into some of my homeboys. My homie baby X Con was there. My homie baby Preacher was there. My homie baby Two Tone was there. So I had a moment, what I'm saying, to be able to spend time with my homies or whatever like that, before we took our journey or whatever. And that was a strange situation for me because, like I explained to you, from being in the LA County jail and, denouncing God, and putting in my mind like, I'm just on this gangster, like, this gangster for life. Just it is what it is. Soon as I hit the reception center, I started having all different type of strange encounters with people. People, trying to talk to me about the word, the different books, the individuals was giving me. These was books that was inspirational, books that was inspiring. I'm talking everyone, like from my homeboys to, different, people next to me to say, "Hey, you want to read a book?" I'm getting books on Rosa Parks and Nelson Mandela, and I'm getting books on Jesus and, this different stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm taking the books in, but I'm not really paying attention to what's going on.
Right. Right.
And these were all different attempts, to kind of, help get my mind out that state that it was in because I felt like it was over. I mean, who you get life in jail. I'm representing my gang. I'm banging. So the chances of me coming home was slim. So I didn't even think I was coming home. You follow me, brother?
Right.
So so these things is going on, brother. I got people giving me books, talking to me, trying to encourage me to not give up, to come out of the negative attitude I was in. So from that place of reception, brother, I ended up going to Saladins, and I was in Corcoran. So while at Corcoran, brother, I get there, I got, homies there, whatever like that. So, I'm not, like I said, I'm banging. So I get there, brother, I'm being aggressive. I mean, whatever we need to do, this what we doing. You follow me?
Right.
So I get there, right? And so one day I'm on the yard, I come back in, the counselor called me up in the office, like, "Hey, you got a call from your attorney." I'm like, "Attorney?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I'm on the phone with my attorney. So my attorney, she introduced herself to me. She said, "Hey, I'm your appeal lawyer. My name is Mrs. Lynn Davies, and I'm taking your case and so forth like that. So when you get a chance, I want you to call me so we can discuss some things." So I'm like, "Okay," So uh, so this is taking place. And while I'm talking to her, brother, she asked me, particular questions, and she asked me like, was I aware that I could have took a deal, for 19 years without the L, and I told her no, and she was like, your lawyer never told you that, and I was like, no, ma'am, and she was like, okay. So what she brought to my attention was that's ineffective assistance of counsel. You see what I'm saying? Your lawyer has a right to inform you of all the proceedings and dealings of your case. You follow me, brother?
Right now, real quick, Solomon, why do you think that? Why do you think she didn't? Why do you think she didn't tell you that? Like, inform you of that?
Well, like where was he? His name was Samuel Abrahamian, and at that particular time, like I said, on the streets, there was a lot going on, and so, regards, to the A-Trade gangsters and, the war, with the Rolling 60 Crips, and then not just participation in how we was moving, I mean, I was bringing a lot of attention to the LAPD, So, one of the officers that was detailing us was, Detective Roger Guzman, Detective Chu, Kyle Burns at that particular time. And they were trying to get us off the street, brother.
Damn.
Yeah, they were trying to get us off the street because we was a force to be reckoned with. And so, what I ended up finding out was that, my lawyer, he was tied into, LAPD or whatever like that. So, I mean, it was a conversation had in regards to, not allowing me to successfully get through that process. You follow me, brother?
Right, right.
So certain things was kept from me. But, once again, I'm showing you these divine encounters, though. So watch this, though. So I get in contact with the lawyer, she bring that to my attention. She filed a writ. So, brother, I'm not even in prison, brother. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Over a year. And then uh, I believe it was uh, March. Let me see, brother. I believe it was, yeah, March the 2nd, brother, of 2004. I got my life sentence overturned.
Hell yeah.
And I was sent back down to the county jail in April, you know what I'm saying, of 2000, you know what I'm saying, and four.
That's
But then you
huge.
see this though. But then you see, like, I mean, how this is taking place, brother.
Absolutely. How the light, is taking place in the darkness of what you had in the
Mm,
past. It's starting to come to light.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because see, it was important for me to experience that because, like I explained to you, once I was sentenced to life, I gave up. I stopped believing in God and all that, right?
Right.
So it was important for me to have that experience to allow me to know that even though somebody decreed death for my life, that was reversed.
Right. That's crazy. Hey, Sultan, I'm sorry to cut you off because I know you got it all in play right now, but I just don't understand. That's just so messed up because man, you could have been serving life right now.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for that the attorney, you know what I mean? If it
yeah,
was
most
not for
definitely.
that attorney, reaching out to you, because she would have was it you said Lisa or Linda?
Yeah, her name was Lynn Davis, and she
Oh,
was
Lynn
out,
Davis.
yeah, out of Ontario or whatever. She became my appeal lawyer, and she helped me get back. I had got an order to show cause, right? So, I had an evidentiary hearing where I had to go back to court, and we had a hearing on that. So, one of the things that was discussed was, well, why didn't you bring to his attention that he could have took a deal? So, my lawyer had all type of explanations or whatever like that, but ultimately, I got my license overturned, and I ended up taking a deal for 25 years without the L.
Right. And what was
So,
your thoughts? What was your thoughts during that moment when she told you that?
you
What
know,
emotions were going through your head?
I knew this was God.
Right.
I know this was God. You know what I'm saying? I know that she was being used, what I'm saying, as an angel, to untie something that was tied. You follow me?
Right.
So this is how it worked. There's no such thing as something invisible, just working in the sky on your behalf. No, God works through people on your behalf.
Facts.
right? So this took place, brother. So I got my license overturned, and I'm going back to prison. So now at this particular time, I'm in SADF, but I end up getting transferred to New Folsom State Prison, right?
Awesome.
Yes, sir. So while I go to New Folsom State Prison, brother, I'm up there. When I get there, they was on lockdown. They was on a long lockdown, you know what I'm saying, for like about 6 months already. So I get up there, brother. And while I'm up there, still got the, even though I got the license overturned, I'm still dedicated, I'm still pushing forward, with the agenda, what needs to be done, And I ended up meeting a brother. I was on the yard, I was working out, I was running laps, I was doing the ball work, and a brother came up to me, brother, greetings himself to me. He was like, Assalamu alaikum, brother. And at this time, brother, I'm banging, so I'm like, what's up, cuz?
Right. Right.
Like what's going on? He was like, I just, just going to come introduce myself to you, brother. See how you doing and so forth. I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. And I get back to doing what I'm doing. And so throughout my course of coming out to the yard or whatever, this brother he took, interest in me. So it started with small talk. How much time you got, brother, and this and that. And, I mean, his demeanor was pleasant. I didn't feel no type of evil vibe from him, so it allowed me to loosen up a little bit. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Right. Right.
And have conversation with the brother, so that led to, the brother giving me different, reading material and so forth like that. And, just let me know if I need any type of assistance, in regards to whatever the brother there, what I'm saying, for me. So, that arrangement, brother, ultimately is what, kind of brought my senses back. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he was saying things to me, brother, that at that time I couldn't understand, but now I understand totally what he was saying. And one of the things the brother told me, what I'm saying, that I always remember was he was like, brother, you've been chosen, brother, for great work. Now, when the brother told me that, I'm like in my mind, like, man, who is this dude? What he on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't know me tomorrow. I've been chosen for great work. I'm tripping on this brother. Like, man, this dude crazy. You know what I'm saying?
You never
And
really had that. You never really heard anything really positive. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like put you on your toes a little bit, right?
yeah, yes, sir. I'm tripping, like, you know what I'm saying? So the brother, I get close to the brother, like I said, I'm spending time with the brother, whatever. And, we getting close. So, I told the brother, I grew up in the Christian faith and so forth like that. And, at a young age, I got baptized and so forth. So I remember one day we was talking about the baptism, right? And he was like, he said, yeah, brother, uh, he said, it's unfortunate that our people don't understand that, this baptism rite is one of the rituals of ancient Egypt that they did in the mystery school. So, with just things like this, he was bringing to my attention. But, I'm unaware of that knowledge, brother.
Right. Right.
So I'm not knowing what this brother talking about. He talking about mystery schools. He talking about the Egyptians,
It's like
But
a foreign language.
yeah,
Yeah.
But he explaining to me that, when we get baptized as a child like that, we are invoking, things into our life because as the Bible said that Jesus got baptized by John the Baptist. You notice that right after he got baptized, he went into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights, and that's when he was tempted by Satan. This is what the scripture says, brother. So the brother was pointing out to me that, because he asked me how old I was when I got baptized, and I explained to him, I was 7 and so forth. And then, the different trouble of my child youth, I was explaining to the brother, and he just kept saying when I was talking to him, he was like, that's interesting. But what I come to find out is that we have the power to invoke things on our life, and we do things unaware of what we're doing.
Right.
And later I spoke to my mother. I said, Mom, I said, if you would have knew that you was allowing me to get baptized and all hell was going to break out in my life, would you would have did it, Mama? She was like, absolutely not, you know. because I mean, our people don't understand that these rituals and these things that we doing, these are ancient rites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's been handed down throughout the ages. You know what I'm saying? And these things mean something when you do these things, brother.
Right.
And so the brother, he was just telling me things like that. He was bringing that to my attention. The brother was explaining to me that, you know, uh, he started telling me that, you know, uh, there's no God in the sky. And them things become offensive because when you grow up and you learn about uh God and you learn it a particular type of way, and then someone tells you something contrary to that, you kind of get offended by that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because this kind of going against the things that you've been taught. But having the conversation with this brother, I remember he told me, he said, brother, we floating in space, right? And I'm like, huh? He said, yeah, brother, we float at a circumference, brother, on the planet Earth at 24,896 miles, brother. And I'm like, huh? He said, yeah, brother, the reality of up and down. When you die, you go up, if you're doing bad, you go down. He said, come on, bro, think about that. How that's going to happen in space, brother? So it
Facts.
was just these little things that he was telling me, that I'm going back in my cell and I'm thinking about these things like, wow, you know, I'm like, man, we are in space. We are in the solar system. I'm like, so where is God? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if we in space, like, well, where he at? And we do bad, we go to hell. I'm like, well, like, where is that? In the ground, the earth? You know,
Right.
so it's just the different things he's sharing with me. It's kind of like, um, it's
Eye
sending me,
opening.
it's sending me on this seeking mission, brother. You know what I'm saying? To kind of find out the truth of things. And I remember one day the brother told me, he said, mythology, brother, the word myth is often mistaken, right, to mean fiction, something that never happened. But the brother told me, he said, myth really is a way of thinking about the past, brother,
Right.
you know? And he explained that to me. And so I just started from that point, brother, even though I was caught up in darkness and I still affiliated, within my street, organization, in my me time, brother, I was reading about Buddha, you know, how he was a prince and, how he sought off the truth. And, you know, ultimately he started, he established the Noble Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths. I read about him. I read about Krishna. I read about Confucius and Taoism. I read about the Orishas, brother, what I'm saying, of Africa, Yoruba, learning about Ogun and, Legwai. And, brother, I started seeking, brother, what I'm saying, to really try to figure out what's going on because I felt like that's my duty as a human being to know the truth. You follow me?
Right.
And one of the things I started to discover, like in every religion, brother, you know, they always pointed the creator to self. And when I started to read the scripture carefully, I always, caught things like, Jesus saying, me and my father is one. Like, when you see me do these works, this the works of my father. Now, I mean, that's deep right there.
Absolutely. Yes, sir, it is.
That
It
that
is.
that's deep right there because that's not talking about no separation, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not talking about no separation. You feel me? So it's just different things like that I started to catch. Then I started to look at the different stories of, Jesus walking on water, Moses splitting the Red Sea, you know. And as I started to look carefully at these things and I started to study, metaphysics and learn about gravity and, you know, uh, the different things of this planet and how it operates, I started to see that some things is impossible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So these things have to mean other things, and that led into, me discovering that truth is hidden in all things, you know. For example, like the story of Pinocchio, you know, the story of Pinocchio relates to the truth reveals all things and the truth will set you free.
That's right. Yes, sir.
The story of Sleeping Beauty, You know, these were Italian poets, brother. You know what I'm saying? That wrote these stories. You know what I'm saying? That depicting these tales, but these tales got symbolic meaning in them, brother.
That's right.
And so, when I start to look at these things, with a careful eye, and I start to understand that these things, what I'm saying, mean something more than what it is, brother, it start allow me to see things differently. You follow me?
Right.
You know, and so, like when I was explaining to you when we was talking, and I was telling you, like, when I started to, when I was telling you about Jonah, being swallowed by the whale, being in the whale for 3 days, his stomach, after repentance, he was spit out the whale. I just started seeing all these different hidden truths and things. There's a story in the Quran, in the Holy Quran, the book of the Muslims. There's a story um, in Surah 18. It's called The Cave. And the story narrates an encounter that Moses had with a brother by the name of Keter. And in this story, Moses requests from Keter to be able to take a journey with him. And on this journey, Moses, interest was to be able to obtain knowledge from him because he heard that this brother was wise. You follow me, brother?
Yes, sir.
So on this journey, Keter explained to Moses that he don't think that he can be patient with him because he doesn't have the understanding that's needed to be patient. And so, Moses agreed to, be patient or whatever. So as they take this journey, brother, the first thing that Moses encountered from Keter is, you know, uh, they stumbled across a port and where ships was being docked, and Keter got off the boat and he put a hole in the boat. So Moses was like, why would you destroy the property or or someone innocent that that you don't know? And then
Right.
Keter replied to Moses. He said, "Didn't I tell you wouldn't be patient?" So he apologized and so forth, and they carried on to their journey. They went up some, and then at another stop, Keter get off the boat. He take a rock and he killed a little boy.
Damn.
So Moses
Damn.
like, "Hey, what's up with you? You taking life like, why would you kill someone that has done no wrong?"
Right.
And so Keter, he explained it to Moses. He like, "Didn't I tell you that you won't be patient with me?" So at their last stop, brother, they go into a town. I mean, they was, it was no hospitality, none of that. But Keter went on to, rebuild this wall. And Moses was telling him like, "Man, you can get like, paid for doing that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come to this town, man. They ain't offers no food, no water. Like, why would you, start building this wall up?" And then Keter responded to Moses. He said, "This is what me and you depart, but I'm gonna give you an explanation in regards to what I was doing." He said, "The boat that I put the hole in," he said, "that was the boat of religious, pious people, that believed in God." And so there was pirates that was over the sea and they was taking, the boats and so forth. So they went and took that boat with having that damage. You follow me?
Right.
So that boat was protected. The little boy that he killed, was he had a behavior problem. So, the Lord felt, what I'm saying, that, uh he would have took their faith from them, due to the way he was acting and so forth. So God, took him and allowed them to have another child with better conduct. And the wall that was rebuilt, under the wall, there was a treasure for two orphans that lived there. And if the wall wasn't rebuilt, then the property would have been took that belonged to the orphans. So Keter was commanded to rebuild the wall. You follow me, brother?
Right.
So in that story right there, brother, this is showing you how God is within,
That's right.
moving through us as vehicles to carry out His will.
Now that's deep, and you got to once the people view this and check this out, you guys got to really think about it. Really think deep.
Yeah,
Saladin
this,
tells it how it is.
Yeah, this is deep, brother. You know, these stories is powerful. You know what I'm saying? They're not myths. You know, it's truth. It's truth in all things. Let me show you something else, brother. Like, you know, J.K. Rowling, right? You know, the creator of the Harry Potter series, right?
Right.
You know, very attentive, you know, very wise woman, brother. Very wise, brother. Because what she did was, brother, you know, I can tell in the arrangement of her books, you know, she's very well read, very well studied. Because when you look at the storyline of Harry Potter, right, and you see the forces of darkness and you see the forces of light, you know, uh, this story is depicting the world we in, brother.
Facts.
You know, that story depicts it. You know, Star Wars depicted, brother. You know, these stories is talking about something that's going on with the human condition. And, you know, when we watch Harry Potter and we see that, you know, these are magicians. And, you know, we learn how, you know, Harry, you know, he was part of Gryffindor. You know, that was the school of learning he was from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you had Slytherin. You know, but then when you look at the conduct and the behavior of those from these two different houses, you see the conduct they was on. You see their mindset. So this goes to show you, brother. You see what I'm saying? That, you know, thoughts become things, you know, but the wand that they use, brother, you know what I'm saying, for magic is your tongue.
That's right.
See, you can speak a thing over somebody's life and you can cause life or you can cause death based on your intentions. And that's what that wand is, brother. You know, we learn, you know, just studying theology, right? And through the holy text, we learn that, you know, it says the creator spoke existence in through his word. Let there be light. You know, let there be this, let there be that. And so it is, being it is, you know. So just as the creator spoke things into existence, right? Because first, like I said, brother, comes the thought. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you telling me like, hey, brother, we need to go build this birdhouse, you have to verbally tell me that. Then after you verbally tell me that, then what's the next thing we do? We get in
We're
motion.
gonna go get it. Yep.
So it's spoken, and then we take action, right, to manifest that what we spoke. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's correlated in that Harry Potter series as far as when they using the wands. You know, this is based on our intentions. We can bring good in the world, or we can bring evil in the world based on what we speak out our mouth.
Absolutely.
And we see that in politics, you
Yep.
know, with the Democrats, the Republicans. You know, words is powerful. You know, words get life, words destroy. So it's showing the power that we have as human beings, brother, you know what I'm saying, to build, you know what I'm saying, or to destroy. And so all these things, you know, this journey is explained, brother, this divine journey that we on, right? That all of us, you know what I'm saying, are connected to. In all of creation, from the woman carrying the child and giving birth to it, from the butterfly, brother. You can see this, in, like I said, in Sleeping Beauty, in the story of Pinocchio. It talks about the darkness coming into light.
That's right.
And so it's like we all on the journey, brother. You know what I'm saying? Uh, to wake ourselves up to who we really are. But in order for that to happen, right? You know, we have to journey through darkness because there's some things that we have to learn along the way.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
Now,
Yep.
now, now, I'm gonna share this with you, right? Now, think about this. Imagine somebody coming to you and they telling you, uh, when the first man was created, the creator taught him everything he needed to know to survive on earth, and he told him that he is with him, right?
Right.
He's merged in his consciousness. So to reach him, right, we must meditate, right? Which is the meeting place of God, which is in your mind, right? So just imagine you being told that. So you come into this world and that's the story you're told. If you want to see your God, you have to meditate. You have to go mental. You have to go in your state of consciousness to meet up with him. Now, that's one story, right? Now that story is that story right there is empowering, right? Because it's pointing to that God is within you,
Absolutely.
right? And so in order to reach your creator, he allowed a system for you to meet up with him, right? By creating you, but creating himself in you,
Right.
right? So now think about you just knowing that, right? And you standing on that thought. Now think about somebody else telling you a different story than that, right? Let's say, for instance, somebody tell you, okay, when the first man was created, he was made from dirt and mature, but never met his creator. So his entire life, he searched for the one who created him. So when he couldn't find him, he started to create things to replace his creator.
That's deep. That's deep.
So, so one story is empowering, and then
Right.
the other story makes you weak.
Right. Right. And I'm thinking about it right now. That's crazy.
Think about that.
Right.
One story is empowering, and then one story makes you weak.
Hey, it's the power of the tongue, man. It's the like you said, it's the power of the tongue.
So the reason why, like I was explaining to you, you asked me, you said, man, brother, why you think we having all these problems? I said, because we don't have no faith in God. And the reason why we don't have no faith in God, because we don't know who our God is, brother.
Right. And the thing is, though, why do people kind of portray it into the wrong matter as well? Like, oh yeah, like there's it's kind of hard to put this together, but you know, you do good, you go to you go to heaven, you go to the sky. You do bad, you go to hell, you go down, like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, I mean, well, you got to remember this. It's empowering for you to grow up knowing your mother and father. You follow me?
Right.
So if you grow up without your parents, what that puts you on? That puts you on a journey to find out who your real mom and daddy is, right, sir?
Right.
So it's empowering to know who your creator is. Because if my creator told me, like, look, as long as you are obedient to me, I will bless you. I'll bless your life. I'll bless your family. All the days of your life will be blessed, right? Due to your obedience.
Right.
That's power in that, brother.
Right.
Then my marching orders, I know what I'm supposed to do. But then if somebody come and tell me like, man, your God is a liar, you know, he's not gonna reward you. You know what I'm saying? That's a lie, right? But now I got this for you, right? Now see, once we deviate, right, from what we supposed to know and what we supposed to be doing, right, that's what makes us weak, brother.
That's right.
Because we started to believe in a lie. And to me, sin just simply means the separation between oneself and God. That's what sin means to me, brother. You know, going through all the things, the necessary things that we have to go through to find our creator. To me, that's a process. You follow me?
Right.
That leads up to enlightenment, right? So, so we have to do things to get to other places, but it becomes an evil thing when you're not operating in your God self. God, the creator, creates us to be human, but we acting like a monkey. Now, what foolishness is that, brother?
Exactly.
That's evil.
Right.
What was evil is us being captured, from the motherland, brought into a foreign country, stripped of our language, stripped of our culture, stripped of our God, separated from our families, auctioned off out of auction booth, placed on plantations, right? Enforced slavery on us. And then we was made to worship new gods. That's evil right there, brother.
All right.
Because you are putting someone in a position that's a human being, right, to worship something contrary to their natural self.
That's right.
That's evil. So during this journey, brother, I started to understand that everything that we see, everything that we going through, everything is part of this human experience that we going through. So, like I was telling you, as far as the identification of an angel is just a human being that does good things for the will of God. A demon is someone that's doing mischief. God is you, brother, operating at your higher self, you know, doing what you're supposed to be doing, following the will of God. And the devil is you being totally destructive towards that. You follow what I'm saying, brother?
Yes, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
This is what I come to understand, you know. Uh, since we've been alive and since man been alive, we never seen no one walk on water. We never seen nobody split a sea. You know, we never seen nothing come out the sky floating on chariots, brother.
Right.
You know, I mean, we just ain't never seen them things, brother. Like, you know, we never heard no voice in the sky. You know, behold, I am God. And I mean, come on, brother. Like, I mean, you know, since I've been alive, I ain't never had that encounter, brother. Have you?
No. Maybe in a movie, but no.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't never had that encounter, brother. You know, I mean, and I trust me, bro. I didn't ask brothers, elders, like, hey, since you ever been alive, have you heard about a whale swallowing a human being alive? Like, nah, brother. Have you ever heard any tale of somebody walking on water? Like, no, sir. You know, have you ever heard it? I mean, no one has ever, you know, recorded this ever happening. So if it doesn't happen the way that is literally being taught to us, then it must mean something else, brother.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to take another look at that. You know, now, you know, one of the things I was telling you as far as in my childhood that I grew up in Christianity. So, you know, and I explained to you that my grandmother, you know, she was a faithful follower of the Christian belief. And I grew up, you know, we grew up in my household, brother, loving Jesus. You hear me, brother?
Right, right.
You know, I used to be in the kitchen, you know, with my grandma, she cooking fried chicken and she singing, you know, walk with me, Lord.
Right.
You know, and I'm up in there with her, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Listening to all this, right? So I'm learning about all these tales of Jesus, right? You know, and what Jesus does, you know, what he's about, you know, how he comes to you, the type of work he do. So now, when I was in high desert, I had went to the hole. You know, authorities came in my cell. They said they found a weapon, brother. You know, when I was placed in administrative segregation. You know what I'm saying? Due to the weapon or whatever. While I was in a hole, uh, a brother gave me the book. It was called "Message to the Black Man in America." You know, by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And you know, I didn't have nothing to sell, brother. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
Right.
brother trying to read, you know, to keep his mind, you know, from not, you know, being distressed or whatever. So I read this book, brother. Now, as you reading this book, it's kind of, you know, going into an introduction of, you know, who this brother was and where he's from and the encounter he had. And so what I started to learn about this brother, you know, who was known as Elijah Poole, grew up in Savannah, Georgia, that was later called the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that this brother only had a fourth grade education, brother.
Damn.
And so what I learned that in 1930 in Detroit, Michigan, in the Black Bottoms in the ghetto, a man by the name of Master Ford Muhammad came, and they said the brother was like, he was a seller of silk. So, you know, he'll go door to door and he'll sell silk and so forth. And when he stumbled across, you know, the people, he was explaining to them that, you know, this is their day of resurrection, you know, and, you know, their hour of slavery is over, you know, and I have come to guide you, you know, back into your natural self because you're not your natural self. Now think about that, brother. That's powerful to me. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir. It is.
For somebody to come. Now just think about how long we've been up over here in North America, brother. You know, when you read the Bible and the Quran, you know, and when it talks about someone coming on behalf of someone, you know, we learned that that person that comes, he's sent by God, right?
Right.
But when we look at the so-called African American experience, brother, right? I mean, no one never declared that they was here on behalf of us. But this man by the name of Master Wallace D. Ford Muhammad did, right? And he
Right.
shared with Honorable Elijah Muhammad that he will place them back into their natural self. That's powerful to me, brother.
Yes, sir. Sure is.
Because for a brother that was a sharecropper to have a fourth grade education to be teaching that the earth weighs 6 septillion tons, a unit followed by 21 ciphers, telling brothers that the earth is 93 miles from the sun. The earth travels at the rate of 1,037 and 13 miles per hour, brother.
Mm.
Light travels at the rate of 186,000 miles per second. Sound travels at the rate of 1,120 feet per second. And the diameter of the sun is 853 miles. Come on,
Damn.
brother. 1,000 miles, brother. Come on now. I mean, why is that important? You know, why would someone come and give us these estimates and, you know, uh, telling us the circumference of the planet is 24,896 miles. That's deep to me, brother.
Right. It sure is.
And so that caught my attention, you know what I'm saying, reading this book, brother. And like I said, I grew up loving Jesus. So when I started to see the work that this man was doing, I was like, this is Jesus.
That's right. So you had different perspective. Like you obviously believed in Jesus when you're brought up in the churches when you're
Mm-hmm.
young, and then prison kind of like made you have different perspectives on things and faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yes, sir.
encountering like dude on the yard, um, Muslim dude, hey brother, trying to get to know you, whatever, and then he's preaching about his side of faith. You know what I mean? Do you think your life would have been different if you didn't have that encounterment with him on that yard? Do you
Yes,
think
sir,
you would have
brother.
do you think you still would have been in that dark and not presented into the light?
Yes, sir, most definitely. And you know, well, I'm not going to say funny, you know, but what, you know, as I look back on that, you know, I left something out, you know, because the brother was basically, you know, as I got acquainted with the brother, you know, one day the brother told me, he said, man, we've been waiting on you. Now just imagine somebody telling you that, brother.
Right. That makes someone feel good.
I said, you been waiting on me. I said, brother, you been waiting on me to come to prison? He said, no, not like that, brother. He said, but we've been waiting on you. You know, that's deep right there.
Yeah, sure. That's an angel. That's an angel.
That's deep right there. You know, these are the type of encounters that I had in my life. You know what I'm saying? Where brothers telling me, like, you know, you're gonna go through a lot. You know, I was told this, my brother, you're gonna go through a lot. You know, I remember I was in Calipatra State Prison and I was on the yard, you know, I was walking the track, you know what I'm saying, you know, with my homeboys or whatever like that. And it was just old man, you know, we called him Mr. Brown, but we looked at him like a brother that, you know, he was addicted, you know what I'm saying, on drugs and so forth like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know, one day I was walking the track and he called me. He said, "Man, let me tell you something, right?" So you know, I'm brushing him off like, "Man, I ain't trying to talk to you, Mr. Brown." You know what I'm saying? He said, "But you better come over here, right?" So you know the way he was talking, you know, I said, "But let me see what he talking about." And he told me to sit down next to him, and he told me this. He said, "Everything that you believe now, right?" He said, "One day you're gonna wake up and you ain't gonna believe it no more."
Damn.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know this brother. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't, you know, raised with this brother. You know, only time I seen him was on the yard. And me walking the yard one day, he tell me to come, you know, to him and sit next to him. And the brother told me like everything that I believed at that time. He said, I'm going to wake up and not believe these things no more.
Damn. Did you guys have a conversation afterwards, or did he kind of just like leave?
That was it. I mean, we never spoke
Dang.
after that. And so I got up when he told me that. I got up. I was like, man, you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And pushed it off. I paid no attention to it. But when I look back on when he told me this was in 2007. When I look back on what this brother was telling me, this brother, you know what I'm saying? You know, I can see how, once again, brother, this was an angel.
That's right. Sure was.
You know,
Sure
letting me
is.
know I'm on the yard, my pants sagging, you know, I'm throwing up gang signs with my homies, you know, we doing. And he told me straight up, everything you believe in now, you're gonna wake up one day and you ain't gonna believe in it no more.
Damn. That's so crazy. That's crazy. I just got the chills.
And I never forgot that, brother. These are the type of encounters that I was having, you know?
That's
And
deep.
and that just you know, so looking back on all these things, like it was something never, you know, that I was in need to search out of because it was all within me. You follow me?
Right.
It was never nothing to look out. You know, it was always within. And then when I needed to know something, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Most High always sent people, you know, my way to reveal things to me, you know what I'm saying, to help me in my degrees of understanding of what was going on. And then I ran into another brother, you know, and he, you know, I took pride in my Bible stories, brother. You hear me?
Right. Right. Yeah, brother.
You
Yes,
know, I
sir.
grew up, you know, my mama, you know, she taught me well with this Bible. You know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts and Romans 2, first and second Corinthians. You know, like, well, we can go at it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm talking to this brother one day, you know, and he said, brother, you know where Jesus was born at? Yeah, I said, yeah, brother, Bethlehem. He said, but do you know his nationality? Do you know what he was? And I was like, he was a Jew. Brother brought to my attention, you know what I'm saying, the birthplace of Jesus was Palestine.
Yes, sir. That's facts. That's facts.
So this brother was born in East Africa, what they call so-called the Middle East, but that would be East Africa. And the brother went on to tell me, you know, that I understand, you know, that he, had, you know how the scripture says in Revelation, he had hair of wool and, you know, skin of bronze and so forth like that. And I was like, yes, sir, so forth. And he was like, so then I went to the chapel with him, and then he showed me a picture of Jesus, you know, being white with blue eyes and blonde. He said, who is this, brother? And I couldn't say anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I couldn't say nothing. And
He kind of
then,
got offended a little bit, huh?
yeah, because it threw me off. Like I didn't understand, you know, where he was going with that. Like, and he was like, well, who is this person? You know?
Right.
And then, you know, the brother brought to my attention, you know, that when, you know, that were, you know, Michelangelo is the Pope commissioned Michelangelo to draw a family portrait of the Holy Family. And when the brother brought to my attention that, you know, the person that I was looking at was one of Michelangelo's cousins, it blew my mind, brother.
Damn.
Because, you know, Michelangelo didn't have a depiction to create a Holy Family. So what he did was he used his family mirrors. He was drawing his family.
Right.
And the brother is showing me this in, you know, Encyclopedia Britannicas. He like, look, brother, read this. And I'm like, it just threw me off. Like, I'm like, wow. So that let me know right there that everything that I've been taught on a certain level, you know, was misconstrued. And so that really put me on a mission, you know what I'm saying, to obtain the truth, brother. And what I learned that it's okay to say, you know what, I've been taught wrong.
Damn. That leaves me. That's kind of. That's got me like kind of. I took a step back and that kind of made me realize, damn, bro. And we need you. We need you as an angel. You know what I mean? God's angel that you progress that message. You know what I mean? Throughout the communities and nation, because we need that for sure.
Yes,
Because
sir.
that's deep. Because I had no before I met you, brother. Like for real, like I talked about, I had no idea. You know what I mean? And now I get different perspectives on things, and it adds up. So
Yeah, these, these
salute to
these
you.
these are the things, brother, that I've been learning, brother, blowing my mind, brother. You know, brother telling me like, brother, why is we looking back 2,000 years for a savior, brother, and we in the future?
All right.
You know, like what sense do that make, brother? You know, when we got saviors in our company. Why would we look back? Like, who told us to do that? Who told us to look back? You know what I'm saying? That time for help when we got help right here in front of us.
That's right. Yes, sir.
He was like, what sense do that make, brother? I mean, just these type of conversations really set me down and made me to think, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why is our mind functioning on this type of level? You know what I'm saying? Where we're trying to relate to historical events and to historical people that we have no relation with.
Right.
Like, why are we doing that?
And Saladin, real quick, it's pretty wild too. Now that you mentioning that, I remember one thing when my dad was when he was using drugs. He would always like mention, oh, that the devil's taking over or whatever, like taking over me and trying to
Mm-hmm.
take away my good or whatever it may be. And then once he hit prison, he really kind of like thought about all that faith stuff, and like, yeah, my that I was trying to seek good, but the devil's trying to hold me back. And it's crazy because I don't know, man. It's just the stuff that you're saying right now is adding up to everything, and it's just wild, you know.
Most definitely, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's craziness. Because my thing is like, once we understand, right, the truth, right, do we still could continue to believe a lie? And it's insanity for us to live our life stagnated, right?
Right,
Because ultimately we thinking like once we die, then the reward comes. So you mean to tell me I have to live in slow motion, not really doing too much because once I die, then my reward comes.
right,
But not to strive while I'm alive. I mean, but then when you look at other cultures, they're striving, they're living, they're wealthy, but we have to live in slow motion. Like, I mean, what is that, brother?
right.
We gotta wait till we die, brother, to get our reward. Yeah, that don't.
It don't add up.
Something ain't right about that, brother.
Right,
Something ain't right about that, brother. And I think that, brother, it's okay to take a relook at things. You know what I'm saying?
right, right. Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And it's okay. Yeah, it's okay to take a second look at it. You know what I mean? That's what I did. And,
Because
and
because if my thing is this, if we were captured, and brought here as slaves, right, and we were oppressed as a people, then why would we believe what our oppressors is telling us, brother?
right, right. Yep.
If we were enslaved, think about this though. We were enslaved, brother, captured. You know what I'm saying? From our motherland, brought into a strange land, brother, among strange people, and taught to believe in what they believe in, brother. You know what I'm saying? So what makes us think that what they telling us is true?
Right.
Their objective was to conquer us, to enslave us, brother, to make us slaves, beasts of burden. So we supposed to believe in what our oppressors told us? Nah, brother. Like I say, man, something is terribly wrong with that, brother. And I just think we have to take a careful look at that because, one of the things that I know and I have learned is that as us being black people, brother, we are very spiritual. We love our creator,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, we do.
And so if that could be manipulated, right, and we can be led to believe things that's other than what we supposed to be believing in, of course it'll make us weak. You see what I'm saying? Because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing according to our way and what we believe in. You see what I'm saying, brother?
Yes, sir.
And then this is what I'm learning. This is what I'm learning, brother, that I've been hoodwinked, brother. I've been bamboozled. And I had a conversation with my mother, and I said, Mom, like, you know, these are the things that I'm learning, and what you think about this, Mom. And my mom shared something with me to me, brother, that she never told me before. You know what I'm saying? And she told me, she said, son, I never told you this before, but You know, when I was young, I remember, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was speaking in Los Angeles. And I was with my mama, and and she said, Mama Christian, believe in Jesus, so forth. But she went to one of his speakings, and I remember my mama saying that she said, I don't really quite know what that man, religion is and so forth, but he's speaking the truth though.
Right.
My mama told me that, brother, you know, and she told me like, that it's a lot of things that, we've been taught, and she's told me, she said, son, I think we need to uh get back in these books, because it should be no way, brother, that it's been 400 plus some years, brother, and we have no progress. Something is wrong.
Right.
Something is wrong, brother. I mean, what, we just gonna keep marching? We just gonna keep praying? I mean, I'm tired of praying. I'm tired of marching, brother. I'm wore out. I'm exhausted with that, brother. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Like, I mean, praying for what? Marching for what, brother? I mean, we just gonna keep doing that? That doesn't make sense to me, brother. When I look into history and I see everything that changed or whatever change came by, it came by the collective work of that people. People have to change things, brother. Ain't nothing finna fall out the sky and help us change nothing.
Right. We gotta do it ourselves.
And this is what I'm starting to learn, right? But if we've been told that the only change can come from out the sky, something has to fall out the sky to make us change things, brother. Of course we stagnated. We can't
That's
move
that's discouraging. Yep. That's right.
because we waiting on something that ain't gonna never come, brother. But what we need to be dependent on ourselves, our ideas, our collective work, right? That's where the change come from, brother. Not waiting for no voice to come out that cloud, brother.
That's right. That's deep. Hey, I said it again. Saladin for president, man. I'm telling you. Shoot,
Brother,
man.
brother, this has been it's just been an eye opener, brother. And like I told you, man, this time, for some people, the time, yes, brother, it was a great burden. It was great suffering. Being away from my family and so forth like that, brother. But to be, you know, um, like I call it God's Hidden University, and to be able to learn these things, brother, and to be able to share these things with my family, and to be able to take a re-look at things and understand, to know that I know what I know, brother, it was all worth it, because who wants to live in existence as something that you're not, brother?
That's deep. That's deep. Oh, say that again. Let me write that down real quick. Did you remember?
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
I said, who wants to live in existence something that you're not?
In his existence.
I mean, that defeats the purpose of your creation, brother.
Damn, that was deep, man. I just wrote that. I just wrote that down. I'm quoting you, man. I'm quoting you. I'm quoting you. Don't worry about it. One thing I wanted to say though, what are your thoughts? Because I see these I don't know. I don't know if I can believe the social media and the media, celebrities, all that, because television is tell a vision. You know what I mean? It's kind of
Most definitely.
it alters our mind into thinking something. You know what? I can get
Mhm.
deep into it, but television is basically what it is. The rundown. Why they say these celebrities sell their soul to the devil and stuff? You know what I mean? But they're at this peak in their life, and money. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're exclusive, or you're living you're living a great life, whatever it may be. That doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean? Everyone has different morals about it. But why do people? What's your thoughts on selling your soul to the devil? Not you, but just the thought of people doing that.
Well, I mean, like I was explaining to you, brother, like when you in ignorance, you in darkness. So, when you come into a world and you told about a dream, You know, you talk about the American dream, right?
Right.
But when you look up the word American, you know, it defines, those of European ancestry. So, I mean, this is not our dream. So we live in a existence in a reality, brother, that has nothing to do with us, brother. So, when you have individuals that, like I said, brother, see the suffering and see the poverty, you know what I'm saying? And see all that's going on. Like, it's something in you that, wants better for yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, sir.
And that in you, and that's what's in you to thrive like that. You know what I'm saying? Can't be manipulated, without you being fully aware of what's going on. And so, there's layers of darkness. One lie leads to another lie. That
Right.
lie leads to another lie. And then that lie gets stacked on top of that lie. And then you look up, brother, you got to get through 100 lies just to get back to yourself.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So, a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying, that are in positions of power and position of great influence, brother, uh, they're not they self, brother.
Right.
So if you go to them and you tell them like, hey, why don't you spend some of your money within your community, you know, they're gonna be like, man, you can't tell me what I'm doing for my hood. I done did something from the hood, and or you hating, you know what I'm saying? You just mad because I'm up and you down, you know. That's how they're gonna respond to you, though. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna respond to you in the manner that they should because they're not they self.
Right.
Everybody that's black ain't black, brother. You could put 100 of us in the room. You know what I'm saying? And we're not gonna be on the same page, right? Because we don't have the
True.
same mind.
True. Yes, sir.
You go in a room, you're gonna have one brother, he'll be darker than me, brother. And he brother think he this, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that brother think he that. And you like, damn, like,
Right.
what's going on here? You know? That's the effect of, not knowing who you are and not being aware of your natural self, you know what I'm saying? And it's embarrassing, a lot of our people wonder why other races don't respect us. We don't respect
Facts.
ourselves.
Facts. Salden, real quick too. I want to punch in on that. I interview. I'm not really gonna put him out there, but I interviewed this dude that spent a good lengthy time. He's out now in California's prison, and you know, he spent some time up in high desert, all that, and it was kind of corruption. And I don't know if he got institutionalized or whatever it may have been, but he got out, and like just like the things he would say against his own people was like, are you a brother, or who are you? Like, are you proud to be your own like race? Like, I didn't say any of that, but it's like, dang, bro, like you're kind of bashing, like you're bashing on your own people, and that kind of correlates of what you're trying to say or what you're saying as well. That's why I mentioned that, and it's just crazy because unity is powerful. You know what I mean? The whole government, the whole government system it's the government versus the people, and if people unite as one, just like being in prison, you know what I mean? Just like being in prison, if all races, Mexicans, blacks, Asians, Indians, whites, united as one, and there was no prison politics, oh man, there would be no prison. You know what I mean? There would be no going back to prison. Stuff like that. Like,
Mm.
and it starts within, like you mentioned, like you preach. It starts with our people. It starts with the black community giving back to our community, giving back to the corner store brother that's running his own business. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's just wild to see that
Yeah,
that
facts.
that our people. I'm
Hmm.
not saying everyone, but you have
Hmm.
particular people that hate on our own people, man, and put a little deal on it. I just don't get it. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I had no idea.
Yeah,
I wasn't even gonna mention it until you brought it up.
yeah, where's the Willie Lynch? One of the things that our people went through, we went through a process of being brainwashed.
Right.
You know, you had, European men coming from England teaching and educating, what I'm saying, slave owners on how to tame slaves and keep them in line.
Right.
And so some of these tactics was, you turn the light skinned ones against the dark skinned ones, and you turn the young against the old, and and these things to keep them divided. You divide them, you conquer them. This happened to us, brother.
Right. Sure did.
And one of the things that I learned, brother, in studying genetics, when you get in the book of the Holy Bible, you get the first book is called Genesis. But the origin of Genesis is gene, right? So it's talking about the genealogy, right? So when I started studying about genetics and chromosomes and X and Y and, the condones and different things like that, brother, like, did you know that everything that you learn is stored within your DNA?
Damn.
Your DNA, brother, is like a computer chip. So everything that you learn, you're programming it in your DNA. So just imagine you being taught that crap, you know what I'm saying, in the 1800s,
Right.
right? The same stuff that you was taught is being handed down throughout the generations.
Damn.
Because the DNA records. It records, brother.
Right.
This is why your mom would say, well, you act just like your dad. You got your dad's personality. You know what I'm saying? You got your dad traits. This information is recorded within our DNA, brother. So all the methods of divide and conquer and hatred and everything that we was subjugated to, brother, this is why we hate each other and we don't even know why.
Right. Hey, and it starts with how you mentioned, back to the slaves. The slave owners had the what's it called? Man, what's it called? They had the pretty much like their partner, but they're black. And they would go out, like if a slave ever escaped, they were the ones, I forget what it was called, man.
Yeah, you had the slave catchers. Yeah, most
Yeah,
definitely.
the
The
slave
overseer.
catchers. Yeah, exactly. They would be the ones getting our own people, man. If I was in that position, I'd be wanting them all free.
Yeah, most definitely, brother. That's where the idea of policing came from, brother, to keep the slaves in check.
Right.
When you read the sister, Michelle Alexander book, the new Jim Crow, she's going into that. You know what I'm saying? As far as, this systems of policing, it wasn't ever to police them.
Right.
It was to police the niggas.
Right. Right. Yeah.
To make sure the niggas is in line and the niggas don't come and mess up their nice homes and their property. We want to keep the niggas in line, so we got to police you. So that's what that was about. The Jim Crow laws and black codes and all these different things that they set up, to, keep us stagnated and to keep us, other than ourselves, brother. This is real. This happened, brother.
Right.
This ain't no lie. This happened. This is in history. This is what happened to us, brother. So this is why we all disorientated, And when we see someone, that's fighting on our side, everybody got something to say about Farrakhan. Farrakhan this, Farrakhan that. Right? But this brother's standing up for us, though. Why we won't support our own, though?
Damn.
He black. I mean, like I told you, when you look at the Serengeti, you see zebras with zebras, brother. You don't see the hyenas with the zebras.
Right. Right.
You see the zebras supporting the zebras, so, he black. So, I mean, why we won't support him, though? Like, why we won't support black people that's trying to help us? Like, oh, he's Muslim, so I don't, What that got to do with it? The brother's black, and he's standing up for you, and he's speaking on your behalf, though. Why we ain't gonna stand with those that's standing for us? But what is that? What is that in our mind that makes us don't stand with each other?
Right. Damn.
See, this is why we in bad shape, brother. We in very bad shape. We've been told a lie, right? And we just need to stop believing that lie. We've been told a lie, brother. And it's okay to say, you know what, we've been lied to. Now let's go ahead and get to this truth though, right? Because the truth gonna set us free, brother. This ignorance.
That's right.
I don't
Yes,
want to tell
sir.
my daughter no lie. You know, I've been lied to. What I'm gonna tell my daughter a lie for? You know, and so, you know, just on this journey is real, brother. You know, like I was explaining to you, like it's real. You know, and a lot of things been manipulated. You know, a lot of things been hidden from us. Why? Because we're at a disadvantage. Why are we at a disadvantage? Right? We told this our country, but it's not, brother. It's not, brother. You know, there's nowhere in the world we should be treated the way we're being treated, brother. That we had, you know what I'm saying, equity and ownership within this land, right?
Right.
So that's not what it is, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it is. And when you look at the founding fathers of America, brother,
That's
one was
BS.
black man at that table. Where was the black men at?
Right.
Speaking on our behalf, speaking on the interests of our people. They wasn't there, brother. You know. So all these things we have to take into consideration, and we have to be real with ourselves. So we gotta stop being fake to ourselves. Stop telling ourselves a lie. It's okay to be say, "Hey, I was lied to." Because my thing is this, you know, how can you just come in our community and keep killing our people? Like, you know, we supposed to be going to the United Nations, brother, and let them know like we feel we are threatened for our lives. You know, there's a genocide taking place within our community. You know, we got mass incarceration. So when you take the black men away from the household, it collapses the function of the black family. You know, our women
Honestly,
can't take care of our children. They can't pay bills. You know, it's not making us progress, right? But it's degressing us. And we have a right to tell them that, you know, if you're not going to fend for us and if you're not going to protect us, right, then, you know, send us on our way.
right.
You know, where we don't have to face this type of oppression and where we don't have to face this type of police brutality. You know what I'm saying? Our people scared to death, brother.
Hell yeah. Sure.
You can't even drive to the store without getting killed. That's insane.
Right. Right. That's facts. That, that's facts.
You know, they killing our women, they beating up our children. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, what is that? What's going on?
All
Oh,
right.
has a war been declared on us that we unaware of?
Damn.
It's not making sense. It's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when we go through these things, man, you're supposed to, you know, when I turn on the news and I see a brother getting killed, when I seen that happen to George Floyd, I cried, brother.
Uh,
I cried. You know, some brothers had no emotion about it. They was numb to it. They was like, you know, this just another nigga. You feel me? So, so for us to feel that way, think about that though. Think about seeing your own being killed that way, right? And then you have no type of emotional reaction towards that. You know, that tells you that's, you know, in your psychic, you've been paralyzed to feel for that.
all right.
This is why they show it to us all the time on TV, right? So we can become used to it. Like, oh, okay, well, that's just another nigga. It's no big thing.
All right.
When we really supposed to be going crazy about it because, you know, you seeing yourself get killed on TV.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Damn, Saladin.
Yes, sir, brother. You know.
Hey, drink. Hey, drink some water. You got some water. You got some water in you, brother. You can take a break now, man. I hopefully got a comfy chair or some up in there, man. You chill out now. It's all good now. No, I'm kidding. But man, that's facts. That's deep. It's facts. And like I said, man, I take notes. I got 2 pages already.
Yeah, it's
That's
deep.
why you don't hear me. Sometimes I won't be talking, and I'll be jabbering down notes, man, because that's what I do. I love what I do, and
Yes,
it's a blessing, to get, to talk to you and get time to talk to you, and you know, get insights on things that need to be alive, being talked about. Just like you said, bring the light to the darkness, and that's what you've been doing, man.
Yeah,
And
most definitely, brother. It's time for that, brother. I mean, we've been getting out behind whoop, what I'm saying, for too long, brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's an honorable thing to stand up for what's right,
right,
for yourself. We have to do something for ourselves, you know.
right,
What the hell I look like, what I'm saying, helping somebody that's not helping me.
right,
That don't make sense, brother.
right,
We got to fight for Medicaid. Our grandparents, they got diabetes and stuff. They can't pay for the medication. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got all this going on. We see COVID-19, the government didn't properly respond. So black people were suffering, right? Couldn't pay their bills, couldn't, properly provide, nourishment for their family, right? So we already see that in certain situations, right? That we're not going to be taken care of. So common sense should tell you, like, man, let's come together and do for ourselves.
right. Yeah,
Every
but
black person and in every black community should have their own garden in their backyard, brother.
right.
So in the event of pandemic or whatever happening, you got your own food.
That's right. It's funny you said, not even funny, but what you just mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned that because I talked to this dude named Jarrett. Real good. Man, real good, real cool dude. He served some time in the military, and he's about to move out of Louisiana, or is it? Damn, I forget. Is it? I forget. No, Tennessee, and
Mm-hmm.
he's about to go to Texas, and he's about to buy him some property.
Mm-hmm.
Build him a house and make his own food. Like farm his own because he said the world's going downhill, man. It's going downhill, and people are gonna have to fend for themselves. And he's a white dude, like he's a white cool dude, and but we just have to prepare for the worst. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
as
most
blacks,
definitely.
we've been dealing it for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? It's time for a change. Martin Luther King, Elijah Muhammad, Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, Carlos, all those guys, man, they paved the way. So we just got to continue to pave the way. You know what I mean? Keep it going.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Hunger Games. You remember the movie The Hunger Games?
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
all these movies they mean something, brother. All these movies, The Matrix. It's symbolic meaning in these movies, brother.
Right.
You know, they showing them to us for a reason.
Right.
You know.
And then that Saladin, if you get a chance, I'm not too sure what movie access you have in there.
Hmm.
Look up the movie Divergent.
Yes, sir. I seen that, brother. I seen Divergent.
Divergent. Yep,
Yes, sir.
Divergent. With yeah, that's deep too. That's something to think about. But yeah, brother. Do you have any shout outs you wanna give?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Most definitely, man. I wanna wish my mother, what I'm saying, a happy Mother's Day. You know, thank you, mom, for, raising me and instilling in me the jewels that I have. They gave me the awareness that I have. I appreciate you. I love you. I also want to give a shout out to Miss Washington. Miss Washington was uh, a second mother to me. When I used to run away, brother, like I was telling you from home or whatever like that, my best friend, was my homeboy Jonathan. And his mom, they used to take me in and, you know, uh, care for me and so forth. So, uh, I definitely want to give a shout out to Miss Washington and, and and to all the mothers, what I'm saying, within my family, that have children. To me, every day is Mother's Day, brother. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. Yes, sir. It is.
So it's just not one day,
Right.
because the work that, the women have to do to rear children and, take care of the household responsibilities, brother, it would drive us crazy.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, we definitely don't got the patience for that, brother, So,
Right.
I would like to, tell them that they're appreciated and loved and so forth like that, brother. And um, happy Mother's Day to your mother, brother.
I appreciate that. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, man. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir, brother.
it's a blessing. We wouldn't be meeting here now. We wouldn't be talking, man, if it wasn't for our mothers, man. Everything happens for a reason. Situations, occur.
Yes,
And
sir.
and one quick thing I wanted to say, man, hats off to you for sure,
Mhm.
um, for being positive and throughout the years the stuff that you've been through, the trauma, the gangbanging, lengthy prison time, and still like smiling and laughing and having a good time, man. Like when we're on the phone, as if we're on the phone, you know what I mean? You're laughing and having a good time. Hats off to you for that, because it ain't easy, man. It with God, with not God, it ain't easy. So I appreciate you, man, and hats off to you for sure. You got to give a pat on your back.
Yes,
You know,
sir, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
you know, no, for real. Like one day, like give a pat on your back. Be like, hey, you know, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna keep going. So blessings to you, brother, for sure.
Yes, sir, brother. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, that's all these angels, brother, that's been on my path. You know what I'm saying, brother? You know, keeping me on the straight path. So, you know, shouts out to them, you know, and to all my friends and family members that didn't give up on me, you know, that struggled and strived with me, you know. Much love and respect to you. We did it.
Right. That's right. That's deep. All right. Oh, Saladin, brother. I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I know you're looking at the honey buns right now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I'm gonna let you go unless you had anything more to say. You good or?
Yes, sir, brother. You know, once again, man, may Most High God, brother, protect you and your work and bless you and your family. And I'll see you soon, brother.
Oh, yes, sir, man. I'll see you soon, real quick, brother. And I appreciate you. Blessings to you and your family. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep the hustle going. Keep spreading the love, man. We need it. We need you. And once you out here, man, it's a wrap. And I'm telling you, man, I got people lined up for you. So
Yes, sir.
it's a wrap. But blessings to you, brother. I appreciate you. And this was our last. Is this the last interview until you get out, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, man, you guys got to pay up now. You got. I'm gonna shoot you guys. Saladins JPay. You guys gotta put at least 100 down on it, man. I'm serious. No, I'm kidding. But blessings to you, brother. I appreciate you,
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll stay in contact.
Yes, sir, brother. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
You take care of yourself, brother. God bless you. Love you, black man. You know what I'm saying? I'll
Yes,
see you soon.
yes, sir. Much love, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir, brother.
Have a good
Peace.
one. Peace.